Hey, Laura J with Stephanie Denezzo, one of the facilitators for Camp Authenticity at the Hub for Humankind, sitting here at Woodlawn Art Farm, where the idea for this panel happening Saturday at 9:30 a.m. We were together when the idea actually came to me to have this panel where we have an organic unfoldment of what it means to move from the head into the heart and then be able to start communing in community with others we have relationships with. So it has been a heavily triggering, activating experience, pulling it together because of the element of uncertainty that comes with an organic co-creation. And I wanted Stephanie to have an opportunity to share your perspective of what that process has been for you to be involved in order to bring it to you who view this and want to be there with us on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you so much, Laura. Yeah, it's been this really wonderful unfolding of being in this place of unknown. And really the panel is all about processing our emotions and being aware of our emotions and then how they impact our relational spaces with others. And so being in this process of the unknown and working with co-creators that some I know well and have stories about and some I've never met before and I am just being introduced to, and being aware of all of the parts inside of me that are coming alive as we're doing this, and also having the opportunities for myself to declare the things that I want and the things that I don't want to be a part of and the things I need more clarity on, and creating this really authentic experience of expressing the resistances when they come up and expressing the yeses, and maybe something that was a yes could turn into a no, and something that was once a no could turn into a yes, and just kind of how that all unfolds in our own personal experience while we're relating with others. I didn't like that. Can we try again? I just wrecked it. We're not live, right? This is a recording. Can we try it again? Because I babbled and I'd like to bring more clarity to it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think you did amazing.
I appreciate you. I babbled in my own way, and yeah, or maybe it can just be edited.
It can be edited.
Because I think the piece that I really want to share, and the piece of why, the piece I really want to share is about the importance of relating with others in community. And in my experience, my own personal, I'm going to try again. Yeah. What I really want to say is the importance of the awareness of our own authentic experience that is happening within us while we're in relation with other people. This is so important in community because in my experience, I have seen one's own unresolved emotional traumas be the thing that causes breakdown in community, and it is a thing that has caused disconnection and things to fall apart. And so being a part of this panel has been so exciting because we're working from the unknown and at the same time really expressing authentically how it is going for us, expressing the resistances and the goes, and having a container where we can do this and allowing the magic that is meant to unfold out of it all to unfold.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And this morning we were having a conversation about how each of us have experienced old patterns showing up in the present moment that community members of our inner circle have actually helped us shift out of the pattern that we used to do reactively. And that really leads perfectly into your workshop that I'd love for you to let people know about as well, which is an initiation into conscious anger. So what is that as well? Because part of my wanting the panel was for people to be able to meet those who will be moving people through an initiation to a new element and aspect of themselves through the process that you have to offer. So
thank you. I'm really excited about the workshop, the initiation into conscious anger. This is something I'm really passionate about because well, modern culture, most of us are taught to relate with our anger in this very unconscious way. And when we can step into this energy that flows through each of us, I hate doing this.
Oh, good
I hate doing
acknowledgement.
this.
And you're doing it really
And I'm
well.
doing it.
Really well.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
I have too much in here.
Yeah.
That is what the camera does. Thanks for the space for me to process, Lori.
Yeah, thank you. You're doing it. This is what, literally, this is it.
This is what it's about.
Like, whoever, if ever this were to be shared, which would only be done with permission, this is literally what you don't get to see. Who watched this back, all of those cuts that never made it, this is the real work.
And this is the head interrupting the heart. This is my heart being in this space of flowing, and my head having this idea of how it should be, or how I want it to sound, or I really want you to understand the value of it, and my head is trying to explain it to you, but it's an experience that can only be felt through the heart. And so this is also a really wonderful example of being in the head versus the heart, and how it is a constant practice to be aware of where you are and choose to be where you want to be. And I use my conscious anger to have my own sort of clarity at my own throat to see the way I am behaving in my everyday life and where I truly want to be.
That's so beautiful. And this morning we were actually talking a lot about this whole notion of the Tower of Babel, and how you have your language and I have my language and you have your language, and we're all talking about the same things. Because when Steph was talking earlier about the languaging around conscious anger and unconscious anger, I was relating it to the saboteur, which is the archetype we all have as a survival archetype that, when empowered, actually steps into the guardian of choice, the one who consciously chooses to do or not do. So relating from our own frame through a frame where you have an opportunity to name the language that you relate to that may be different from what we two have shared and expressed, and finding a place where we can actually come together and say, I use this word, that I hear you using that word, that I relate to with a different word, and I think I heard someone else say a different word to apply to the same thing. And then we start to see that we are all actually talking about the same thing with different words and different meanings applied to those words. And so if we get out of the head and back into the heart, then we are in resonance in the now. So this panel, we don't know what is going to transpire specifically. But what we do know, or at least I can only speak for myself, is that I have been stretched incredibly since the idea came to me a week and a half ago to do this panel, when the opportunity arose because space was made in the schedule to allow it. And Steph was one of those facilitators. I wanted to ensure people had an opportunity to connect with and relate to in a safe space where you're not in the seat of being in the process, but we are. And you get to see us moving through our own discomfort in order to say we're doing the inner work, which is why we can guide you from a place of lived experience, which is precisely why Miranda Sophia, another facilitator at Camp Authenticity, is sending a message through in this moment that we are doing this message, because in the field of consciousness, we are all interconnected. And the more inner work we do, and the more emotions we move through the processes that each of us have discovered through the work that we've done on ourselves, we all benefit because we're all riding the waves together. So, any final words before we close off this message today, Stephanie?
I hope that you'll join us Saturday morning to witness how the unknowns unfold.
Yay! And when is your workshop again? Remind us.
Is Saturday at 5:45 Camp Authenticity.
Woo! Peace. Thank you.